Your asylum case might look messy on the surface, but that doesn't mean that you should give up on it. I'm going to explain a legal concept called mixed motives that could be the difference between winning and losing your case. Now, here's what many asylum seekers get wrong. They think that, for example, if a gang wanted their money or a neighbor wanted their land, well, they can't win asylum because that doesn't have anything to do with one of the 5 protected characteristics under U.S. asylum law. And then they'll focus entirely on the criminal aspect of the personal aspects and barely mention the actual protected ground at issue. Now, when they do that, these cases get denied. The officer concludes, well, it's just a personal dispute with no nexus to a protected characteristic. But look, here's what the law actually says. A protected ground only needs to be one central reason for the persecution. Not the only reason, but rather one central reason. Now, that means that even if the gang wanted your money, but they targeted you specifically because of your political opinion, well, you can still win. Even if the dispute started over land, yeah, but then it escalated because of your religion, well, yeah, you have a viable case. Let me give you 3 examples. Let's say a Muslim family has a boundary disagreement with a Hindu neighbor. Now, the neighbor mobilizes a nationalist group, like Hindu nationalist group, by claiming religious offenses, and the mob goes and attacks you, shouting religious slurs throughout. Well, what started as a civil matter, just a disagreement over land, became religious persecution. Second, forced conscription by Boko Haram in Nigeria. They need soldiers, right? But when a Christian man refuses to convert, they beat and torture him for his faith. The religious identity becomes central to the harm, despite that it started out just as, hey, Boko Haram wanted more soldiers. Now, third, blackmail targeting a gay man in the Middle East. Criminals demand money, but they're weaponizing this person's sexual orientation as leverage. The persecution's rooted in their membership in a particular social group, which is a protected ground. Now, how do you prove the protected ground? Well, the most important evidence is what the persecutors said, especially while they were harming you. Did they call you a traitor? Did they use religious slurs? Did they say that your kind doesn't belong here? Or you can point to circumstances that indicate what their motivation is, because they don't always make it so explicit with their words, right? So write down what they said or what circumstances point us to their motive, and be ready to talk about that at your asylum interview, okay? Don't go into your interview and talk only about, money or land in those circumstances. Rather, pivot the story. Yes, they asked for money, but they also said that people from my political party are the enemies. Yes, it started over land, but it became religious persecution when they mobilized that mob and they yelled those insults around my religion at me while they attacked me. So tell the whole story, all right? The protected ground really, really matters. If you need help with an asylum case, send me the word consult in a direct message.